And welcome into Making Sense. We're getting close to the end of the year, and if you're looking at some ways to use your money the right way, not only in 2015, but maybe take a peek under the tent looking toward 2016, we brought with us today Brandt McDonald from McDonald, Barranco, Hagen Wealth Management.
That's
and
right.
Brandt, you've been with us, like we say, all year long.
Right.
And we bring you in at different intervals because we do need to keep abreast of the world is a moving target.
It really is.
It's become very global.
Well, with so much going on, all of the central bank activity,
Yes.
both in the Eurozone, the Pacific Rim, and then obviously here at home, whether, will rates begin to finally go back up, and what does all of that mean? And then, of course, we have this ISIS situation and,
Yes.
and destabilization and potential chaos that could happen. And so, there's a lot going on in the world
Yes.
today. This is a great time of year for us because this is when we do most of our annual account reviews. And so it's exciting because we get to sit down with clients and not only go over portfolio performance, but it's also a time to really do a deep dive again into the plan that we created for them and how are we tracking and how are things looking. You can think of it as sort of an annual physical, if you will,
Right.
because we get to sit down with clients and talk about how's your family, how are things at home, and how is your health, all of these issues. We also love to look at sort of what we've talked about in the past. We coined this term, a balance sheet or your income
Right.
statement. So think about it like this, all businesses have a balance sheet. Assets and liabilities, things you own and money you owe.
Right.
Okay. Well, every single person at home has a balance sheet. They own stuff, various assets, whether
own
it's
their
stocks,
home,
bonds, their homes,
their real estate, yes.
all of those things, and then they have debts. And so we want to make sure that we're maximizing all of the potential advantages or potential opportunities that may or may not be available in terms of balance sheet management. We want to make sure that it's being operated and managed as efficiently as possible. So if we see too much cash that's built up, well, is there a little bit of unsecured debt over here? Let's go ahead and knock that out. These are sometimes things that happen throughout the year, and we can come in and identify. The other thing we do, and most people don't really think about this, and this is a huge critical issue, is insurance. I mean, most people have life insurance and other things. Well, that is an asset. But a lot of times the beneficiaries that are named on these policies are very old and outdated, or they sometimes forget who they even listed.
It's kind of like the will.
It is, and the wills are old and
Yes.
outdated. And so we take some time. We go in and we want to look at how those things have been structured and make sure that it's being done properly. Sometimes an estate has grown to the size that things need to be changed in terms of how your beneficiaries are named, or the types of wills that you have, or potential opportunity for a trust or what have you. So on these annual account reviews, it's really, really great because we're not just looking at tax harvesting issues or managing tax liabilities, but which is part of that balance sheet management. But we're also looking at things in terms of what is 2016 going to look like.
That's right. Getting yourself prepared moving forward.
Right, and we spend an incredible amount of time at our firm doing research, not just in terms of global economics and geopolitical events, but also pending legislation that could impact our clients in the next year. And what are the things that we should be doing today to get ready for tomorrow? And so that's an exciting time as well. And it's also a time, particularly with retirees, and this is where it gets kind of fun because retirees love their grandchildren. They love those babies, and they love to travel, and they want to do fun things and create memories with their family. And so we help our clients sit down and establish a budget for the next year based on where everything stands at the moment. And that's really a lot of fun, because especially for the grandmas, because you can look at them, and they're like, oh yes, what can we do? And so we might allocate a portion to a budget. Okay, we feel comfortable that you can spend an additional $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever that number is towards vacation or Christmas gifts or donations and contributions to grandchildren's 529 college plans, or maybe helping a child buy a car or whatever that is. Our clients sort of express their desire of what they would like to do, and then we help them figure out whether or not they can afford to do it. And the great thing about that is when the couple leaves our office, they have an incredibly high degree of certainty that, hey, this has been really thought out, been thought through by our financial planner, our wealth management team. We've talked with our CPA, we've talked with our attorney, and we feel great. We have, so that they can spend the money and not feel so, burdened by it. You know what I mean? In other words, it's been vetted out, the process has been thought through, and it's very freeing to our clients to know that this is an experience we can afford to take in 2016. So that's, the annual account review and really looking at the entire picture is a critical part of what we do at our firm. And I will tell you, if I had to guess, probably 80% of people who have money invested in markets or whatever are not doing these reviews.
Right.
And not only that, but they don't have what we call an investment policy statement, which is a critical part of it. That sort of spells out the rules of the game in terms of how is my portfolio and going to be managed, what are the rules for our lives. And a lot of people don't have those. So the annual account review is a big deal. It's a great time of year. It's an exciting time of year. It's we think about the reason for the season and all of that. And so anyway.
Best time to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Just a final thing here. A lot of our viewers have called me and asked me questions because obviously you've been on the show now probably almost a couple of years.
Right.
Initially, if they come to visit with you, there's no cost involved in that initial visit.
No, it's a sit-down visit with me.
Just to kind of find out if you feel that,
Yeah, it's really sort of an interview. We interview them, they interview us. We want to make sure that it's going to be a good fit. And we go through an initial sort of fact-finding, and there's no charge for that, there's no fee for that.
Good.
In fact, the onboarding process right now for a new client is probably a couple of months because we spend so much time giving away our time for free on the front end to create the plan and present it to the client, and then it's up to them to decide whether they want to work with us or not.
Good. Thank you so much. And just remember this, it's the end of the year. Normally you're going to have that annual physical checkup. It's time also for a financial checkup. Make sure you've got a good doctor to look at those finances also. And we'll be right back right after this.